Hello and welcome to the second episode of Rarr in Me Car. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different from, well no, it can't be that different because we've only done one episode, so it's different to yesterday. Today is going to be called 5 for a Pound, in honour of the 5 for a Pound CD collection from Cash Converters. Yeah, Cash Converters, or is it called... It's called something else. It's the other one to Cash Converters. I'll have to tell you tomorrow and double check. I actually got the bag here. Sorry. Cash Generator. So, obviously Cash Converters is the original, so it's the one I will have probably most fondest memories for. So today, what we thought we'd do is, we got 5 for a Pound, so we thought I'd take you on a musical adventure, and we'll take a musical trip. So, today, I'll show you the kind of the bands or CDs that we're going to be talking about today. So first of all, obviously everyone remembers this one, and we're going to be talking about the brilliant album S Club by S Club 7. Now I must admit, I haven't heard this album before. At the time when it came out, it was in such high demand, because this was when they were big, and I must admit I queued for a day outside Woolworths to try and get a copy of this, and I couldn't get one. I had to give up and go home, and it was a bit sad. And after that I just thought, well, I'm not going to try, maybe, you know, in the future if these things are the way it happened. But as it is, perhaps it was meant to happen, because now I'm here and I've pretty much picked this up for 20, 40, 60, 80, yeah, 20p. So how things work out. But anyway, yes, I'm not familiar with this album. S Club Party. Now, S Club Party, I know. And Bring It All Back, as you see that one, Bring It All. So I'm familiar with Bring It All Back and S Club Party. But I must admit, I don't really know the others, so that's going to be interesting. So that's going to be good fun to talk about. And the next CD we're going to be venturing through is going to be Melanie C, Northern Star. Now, the reason I picked this up is I'm sure you're all very familiar with Melanie C. And there's a reason I wanted to talk about this one, and I'll get to that in a bit. But it's an interesting CD, as you see, because we can get to talk about the classics. Going Down, Gaga. I mean, was that... Did she see something in the future? Did this CD inspire Lady Gaga more than Freddie Mercury? Possibly it did. Maybe, you know, if I ever do get a chance of interviewing Lady Gaga, we'll list this CD together and see what happened. And obviously, Northern Star. You can't have the album Northern Star without the track Northern Star. Now, I must admit, I haven't heard any of these. And if it doesn't have the Bryan Adams song on, then I'm going to be pretty annoyed. Where's the Bryan Adams song? Drinking alone, and drinking too like it should. Even drink don't taste that good, baby, when you're gone. The good ones you did anyway. No, that's not on here. Bloody good, isn't it? Next up we've got well, these two fellas. The popular album Clean by Shane and Shane. Now, I think maybe they're like, they did big in America or something, because I haven't heard of them. So there you go. Shane and Shane. Nice chaps they are, both called Shane. Some good tracks in here. Make Believe Jesus. God Did. Acres of Hope. He Is Exalted. So I think there's going to be a nice spiritual vibe to this, which will be pleasant, because I think that's something we can all use. So yeah, that should be interesting. Just to mix it up a bit, we've got the well, this is quite an underground band, so it's not, I must admit, it's not one I've heard of. We've got well, this was at the time when it was all it'd be Korn by Korn, Deftones by Deftones. You know, you didn't really have to bother making an album. But I must admit, whenever I used to make albums as a kid, I used to love making the names and thinking up the different titles and concepts. So I thought it was a bit of a cop-out when they just used to call the album... Well, the first album, wasn't it? It was always like, they didn't say it was Korn by Korn or whatever, but it was always just, you know, Korn or Deftones or whatever you want to call it. So you never knew what to call it. I thought it was a bit lazy. But then some bands, they'd really mix it up, wouldn't they? So they'd have... Their first album would be called Death of All the Pigs or something. And then they'd keep on doing all the different titles. But then the fifth album, then that would be their self-titled album. It's a bit load of shit anyway. But anyway, Moist Creature. Not a band I've heard of, and I'm sure they're very good. First song on the album is Hate. So I'm sure that's going to be pretty, you know, a lot of emotion going on there. It's mixed by Klaus Frostil. So I haven't heard of him. I'm sure he's very good. We had to ship him in from Sweden or whatever. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting. What's the time? Yeah, we're alright. And the last album for us, which which we're going to enjoy, which is an album I'm sure everyone remembers where they were when this one came out. It's Flaming Star by Sally Oldfield, and obviously everyone remembers where they were when they first bought this. It's got all the classics on, hasn't it, from Sally Oldfield. I wonder if that's is it Bruce Oldfield, the one who did Tubular Bells? Oh, that's Mike Oldman. I'm getting confused. No, Oldfield, or Mike Oldfield is the one who did Quiet. I'm just getting confused. But either way, yeah. Sally Oldfield and Flaming Star. And you've got Birds of Paradise and Samurai the Sun. And I'm going to be checking that one out because I think that one does look like. So, without further ado, let's listen to S Club 7 and the originally titled S Club.